If you're still trying to get clients with social media, you are doing the hardest part of marketing with the least effective tool. So, short form content is great for discovery, but it doesn't build the kind of trust it takes for someone to get into a 25K or 50K engagement with you. That happens somewhere else. And today I'm going to show you where. So, in this episode, we're talking about how you create marketing that's built from the ground up to build know, like, and trust, and to help your potential clients in your referral network understand what you do and remember you. Basically, we're going to prime them to work with you before they've even met you. And we're going to talk about how you can build a repeatable system around that. So you can just drop it into your business and so you don't ghost your marketing every time you get busy. I'm Laura Zovelson, and I've helped more than 1,000 students, companies, and solopreneurs figure out what makes them different so they can get clients and customers. And right now, I know it feels like everything is changing when it comes to marketing and business altogether. But there's a few things that haven't changed at all in all the time I've been doing this. We need to be creating content that connects and helps people find us and help makes them want to hear more. So yes, you've got to get people's attention, but then we need to actually connect with them both intellectually and emotionally. And then you want all of that content to actually connect together. So you build know, like, and trust over a body of work. And that helps people understand what you do and remember what you do. So when the time comes to refer you or hire you, you're the first person that comes to mind. Okay, now the trick is that we have to be doing this consistently because it's impossible to know where people are in the process of engaging with you. So we've got to give them a lot of different entry points, and we need to be able to pop up when they're thinking about it. So, how do we get there? I've got a plan. My working title for this whole system is the client engine. So I've been working with all the elements of this for a while, but it's only now that we have the AI models and the ability to create custom GPTs that I realized that we could put this whole strategy together with a workflow that's actually going to let you get really different, really consistent with your content without having to outsource it or do it at 7 o'clock at night when you really want to be binging only murders in the building, right? So today I'm going to walk you through it. And the big idea here is that you use this marketing system. Your audience won't just be liking or engaging with one random one and done social media post. In this system, we leverage the power of long form content, specifically designed and interconnected to generate know, like, trust. So your prospects actually understand what you do and why they need to be working with you. So here's what I hear from smart, experienced consultants all the time. They've taken marketing courses, maybe LinkedIn or email marketing or whatever, and then they really didn't have enough time to implement the whole strategy. And then usually the follow-on to that is, and then I got busy. Or people tell me that they think about creating content, they know they should be creating content, but they're not sure what to write about, or they feel uncomfortable putting themselves out there as experts. And then the last one, I think the most common one is that I don't have time. People tell me they don't have time to create content consistently because every time they get busy, marketing falls off like, the anvil on the coyote, right? And then when those engagements wind down, then people are like panicking over how they're going to fill the pipeline and where's the next client going to come from, right? So if you don't mind, take a minute to drop me a comment on which of those sounds the most like you. No time, no implementation, tough coming up with ideas, or maybe all of the above. Okay. So look, if this is where you are in your business right now, the thing is, you're not connecting with your audience. In fact, you're probably confusing them. Then your content is all over the map because the pieces don't fit together. So it's hard for people to figure out what you're about. And then when you get busy, marketing isn't happening at all. So if we think about the goal of B2B marketing, to get your leads to know, like, and trust you, to understand what you do, and to remember you, that on again, off again, disconnected content just can't get the job done. The thing is, as I've had these conversations over the years with my clients, it's clear that they know what they should be doing. You know what you should be doing, right? You know that you should be marketing consistently. You know that if you had the right plan and the time to put the pieces together, you could get on calls where you don't have to re-educate the client about the value of your work. You could be perceived as a thought leader and you would have the opportunity to charge, 20 to 40% more. You could stay engaged with your referral network on a consistent basis. And you could get more inbound so you could move beyond that referral network. And that's what makes your business grow. Well, pretty much everybody agrees that putting something like that together would be really powerful. So the question is, what do we need to do that? Well, here's what I think. I think we need content that connects with your potential clients, right? And in order to connect these days, you have to stand for something and you have to be willing to show how you're different, like really different, because that's what makes people fall in love with you. Okay. And then the next thing is that you got to have content that all connects together. So it's like a body of work that people deeply understand what you do and what you're about. And to be honest, so the AI models can see that too. Okay. And then you need consistency because only a small percentage of your audience is going to be ready to buy from you at any given time. So you've got to be out there when someone realizes that they need you. So my background until a few years ago was teeing up startups and getting them enough customers so they could raise money. And in order to do that, the first question I would always ask is, what problem are you solving? So I look at everything through that lens. So when I started to realize the potential of AI, and I wanted to be something where AI could make a difference and not a distraction, I started looking for what problem could I meaningfully solve given the new tools that are available to us. And when I looked at the customers and the clients that I have been working most closely with over the last few years, they're primarily people who are in the expert business, so consultants, micro agencies, similar to that. And when I asked them what is their biggest problem, this roller coaster revenue cycle came up again and again, where you are either super, super busy, so you barely have time to think, or it is like a wasteland and there's nothing. So I really believe that the answer, the beginning to start to solve that problem is highly differentiated, consistent marketing. And content is the way to make a difference there. But we have to make it actionable. We have to make it actually possible for a solo or micro business to deliver highly differentiated content over time and to do that consistently. And in order to do that, I think you need three things. So, first, there needs to be a strategy that lets you easily create belief shifting content that connects with the audience and stands out from the noise. Okay, second, it would need to be a repeatable system that could be dropped into any expert based business, regardless of niche or industry. And finally, whatever it is, would have to be super speedy because that's the only way to help businesses be consistent, even when you get slammed. And I think with this client engine idea, I've actually designed that strategy. But let's step back for just a minute and look at how this might fit in with the major moving parts of your business. So these are the essential pieces of any service business like consulting, okay? You have your service, your product, you've got your business model and you have business development or demand generation. But what happens is that a lot of people think that if you want to grow, all you do is you spin demand generation faster. You turn that one on the right and you just totally lean into it. But the thing is that if you treat that like a standalone, instead of being something that really needs to engage with the other pieces, the whole system falls apart. So, one of the key differences with a client engine strategy is that it integrates all the key business drivers, right? Product, business model, and demand generation. The client engine has three main pieces: point of view, platform, and pathways. And the reason this system really hasn't been viable until now is that creating authentic content at this volume just wasn't possible. Not for solopreneurs, not for small businesses, not for micro agencies. But I believe that AI has finally gotten to the point where we can realistically speed up content creation. Now, not by creating AI slop, but with real deep dives that reflect not just what we think, but how we think. In fact, you're watching one of them right now, right? So that's the orange bar you see where the system is supported by an AI assisted process. So let's just dig into how this is going to work. This first piece is your POV or point of view. So this is the foundation of everything. So your POV isn't just about regurgitating the stuff that everybody else in your industry says. This is telling people about the way you think, the way you work, the things you teach. It's the stuff that you say that make your clients go, "Oh, that's different. I didn't think about it that way before." So, when you create content using your POV, this is actually what builds that know, like, trust and helps people understand what it is that you do. As you tell people what you believe about the problem you solve, how you solve it differently from other people, why you're credible, and you lean into the frameworks or methods that you use to get results. And when you get down into that kind of detail, that's when people start to realize that you've been doing this for more than 20 minutes. And they can trust that the insight did not come from an outsourced agency or AI. So after the POV, what we actually need is a platform that we can control, where we can create a body of work that not only connects to our audience, but where all our content is connected together. So this is how you get to be the go-to in your area. It may seem boring to you talking about the same thing over and over, but remember how in another video I explained that the funnel is an outdated concept? I'll put the link to it over there. Anyway, people come in to your business, to your world from all different angles, and you can't control where they start or how they find you. But if your content is all really tightly connected, they will very quickly understand what you're all about and whether or not you're a good fit. So you want to choose one platform where you can go deep. Now, this can be YouTube, it could be a newsletter, it could be a blog, it could be a podcast. So you don't have to be everywhere, but you do have to show up consistently. So I would say once a month is a great place to start. So when I tell people about this strategy, a lot of people argue with me that nobody reads anymore, nobody has time for long form content. Well, I went and did a little bit of research because, of course, I did. And actually, the data does not show that at all. So, there's data from the American Marketing Association, from Deloitte Consulting, from the Content Marketing Institute. And all of them have reports that show that 80 to 90% of B2B decision makers they want detailed, educational, and ongoing content when they're going to make a complex purchase. And the data from multiple studies shows a willingness to consume this type of content across multiple formats, like the ones I just mentioned. And that's lucky for you because when you go with platform content versus social media content, it builds that know, like, trust. It makes a connection that is a lot easier to do in 5 minutes or 10 minutes than it is in 30 seconds, right? It shows how you think, it makes your value visible, and it gives people a reason to refer you. Now, here's where this gets really good. We are not going to use AI to put a bunch of garbage on LinkedIn. I don't do that. I wouldn't ask you to do that either. But I built a tool that's trained not just on my voice, but on my thinking, on my IP. Actually, I built two tools, one for ChatGPT and one for Claude. And right now I'm liking the Claude one better. But anyway, both of them integrate my voice and my frameworks with story angles that are specific to shifting the beliefs of my audience. So we're not going to outsource your content to an agency or to AI. What we're going to do is use AI to facilitate content creation so it can fit in your schedule, so you can be really different, so you can create the kind of content that actually gets people to reach out to you, and so you can be consistent. And so the third piece of the system is actually pathways, and it's all about visibility. It's how do you stay in front of the people that refer you, and how do you get discovered by new people? But most importantly, it's how do we get eyes back to that point of view content that lives on your platform? Because that's the content that's going to get them to take action and engage with you. It is not going to be a 20-second thing of you saying something pithy on a social media channel. So, look, you can create pathways with social media, with podcast guesting, with media mentions, with speaking opportunities. But here's the difference: everything you put out there is going to reflect the POV we created, and all of it is designed to drive the audience back to your platform and engage with you. Now, if you're still with me, I know you're thinking that there is no way that you have time for this. But AI has given us some really powerful tools to be able to create content faster. And part of this system is that all of your visibility content is actually based on and taken from your platform content. So, to recap, here's how the whole thing works. You clearly articulate your POV. And by the way, this does not work unless you have something to stand for and a novel approach. And if you're an expert, I promise you have that. We just need to dig it out. If you have only been working for 3 years, this system isn't going to work for you. Okay, so you get your POV. Then you leverage AI to speed up a highly curated network of meaningful connection content. And this lives on a platform that you own and lets people know what you do, how you do it, and how you think. And then again, with the help of AI, you break up the long form content to create visibility content. Those are the pathways, which in turn drives the traffic back to your platform. And that's how you get people who are ready to reach out and they're already interested in working with you before they ever get on that call. So that's how it works. But maybe even a little bit more interesting is why it works. Here's how I outline my thinking on this. Putting point of view content on your platform consistently is how you create that know like trust. It's how you help people understand what you do and remember you. Then creating pathways to your platform makes sure you stay visible both to your referral network and new prospects. And then having a system and AI tools enables you to do all of this consistently so your pipeline stays full without you having to work nights and weekends to make it happen. So, look, I've dropped a lot on you in this video, but there are three things I'd really like you to take away. First of all, random content does not build no like trust, it's not memorable. POV content differentiates you. Second, people don't buy what they don't understand. So, this strategy pre educates your prospects and reminds your network why they should refer you. And finally, Pathways content drives attention. Your platform content shifts beliefs. And together, they create a pipeline that delivers inbound leads and referrals. So, look, if you want to learn more or you're interested in installing this in your own business, sign up for the priority list. The link is in the description. And if you're looking for proof of whether or not it works, be sure to hit that subscribe button because I am executing this whole thing live using my LinkedIn newsletter as the platform. And I will be giving you the play by play about whether or not it's actually working here on YouTube. Basically, I'm being the crash test dummy for this so you don't have to. So that's a wrap for me today. You keep hanging in there. I'll see you next time.